I want to announce that we have a streaming channel on the app HBCU League Pass. HBCU League Pass is primarily a sports app where they're going to be showing a lot of HBCU games, some high school football and basketball games, but it's also opened its doors to content creators like HBCU Pulse and what we do over here, REL, the whole entire crew, but also, you know, for Off Script TV, Hip Hollywood, which is owned by Kevin Frazier, is actually his brand. You have Credit Vizio and SUV TV. So it's a lot of great brands that are on HBCU League Pass. Super excited to be a part of it, Aria. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got two phones, Aria. One for the plug and one for the low. And on my second phone, I'm for sure watching the HBCU Post channel, and I'm watching my documentary, Election Season, the story of true HBCU queens. So it's gonna be a lot of great content that's coming out, and we're gonna have HBCU football coverage that's gonna be going into like Saturday's matchup for the MEXWAC Challenge, Howard and Alabama State University. So we're going to get on that. You're going to be hearing that very soon on HBC Pulse Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. And it will also be on HBCU League Pass. I want to end on this, Ari. I want to end this broadcast by saying this. So I want to go back to that Tavis Smiley Vlad TV interview, because he spoke about his friendship with Prince, because Tavis Smiley and Prince were actually really close when Prince was alive. And one thing that Prince was really big on was ownership. And, you know, he had the whole entire situation where he had Slave on his face. He wrote Slave on his face because the record label had his masters. So he had an ongoing fight, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s around that. And Prince was always big on some level of ownership. Even before he passed away, he took his music off of streaming services, and the only place for the longest time until after he passed, you were able to hear his music was on Tidal, which at that time was owned by a black man in Jay-Z. So Tavis Smiley said that he was inspired to start his radio station by Prince. And he said that Prince told him that content is king, but distribution is emperor. Essentially saying that content is great, like creating content is great, but owning that level of distribution and being involved in that level of distribution is really what's important. Because Aria, we can make all the content that we want, but if the people aren't seeing it and we're not controlling the ways that they see it, both for us and also as a group of people, what are we doing? So like, that's something that Aria, like that's been on my mind since yesterday. Like I've really been, you know, that's been on my mind. I've really thought about that. And that's what makes this deal so much better, is that I believe that we're controlling our destiny and we're creating great content, but now we're responsible for the distribution in the partnership with Urban Edge Network and HBCU League Pass. So, you know, I didn't want to get too deep, but that was a quarter of the year for me. Like Tavis Smiley, he still got it. Watch the HBCU Pulse channel 201 on the HBCU League Pass app. But outside of that, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.